Don't you think villains play an important role in the movie? They give the story an important dimension, without which the story might look redundant. Welcome back to Unlimited Movies. In today's video, I'll be revealing a hand-picked list of the 10 most evil villains of all time. But before we hit the gas, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new here. Alright, now sit back, relax, and fasten your seatbelts. We're going to begin. Number 10, Norman Bates from Psycho, 1960. Of course, we had to start with him. Did you know there's a story about people wetting themselves in the theater watching Psycho? It sounds a bit like an exaggeration, but the man behind the woman with a knife must be the cinema's greatest shower scene ever. In fact, it's so great that it's known as the shower scene. All of these point to one thing. This is no mere villain. He is one of a kind, a cinema monster who is very much human. He's a guy who could be standing next to you right now, or someone you would never suspect of wanting to harm you. Nowadays, serial killers might not surprise you, but imagine just how shocking and terrifying was Norman Bates to 1960 audiences. They called Alfred Hitchcock genius for nothing, huh? Hitchcock truly redefined horror. Norman Bates was the epitome of the mentally disturbed villain who murdered his own mother, turned her decaying body into a mummy, and would dress her up to murder people who came into his obscure little motel. Amazon Prime's dark psychological thriller series Bates Motel, starring Freddie Highmore and Vera Farmiga, is inspired by Bates' story and showed its background and evolution into the iconic serial killer. However, it took a different trajectory from the film. Number 9, Nurse Ratchet from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, 1975. Nurse Mildred Ratchet is way more than the head of administration at a psychiatric hospital. In fact, she is anything but that. Cold-hearted, stern-looking, and reddest of tapes. As McMurphy himself puts it, she's something, ain't she, Doc? A Netflix series came to existence because of Louis Fletcher's Oscar-winning character, who rules the ward with a quietly terrifying iron fist, serving passive-aggressive put-downs to break the spirits of the mentally ill, efficiently and effectively. This young nurse becomes jaded and bitter before turning into a full-fledged monster to her patients and shaking us to the absolute core. Number 8, Hannibal Lecter from The Silence of the Lambs, 91, Hannibal, 2000, and Red Dragon, 2002. How can we not talk about Hannibal when we're on the topic of greatest villains? Although Brian Cox and Mads Mikkelsen have put memorable spins on Robert Harris's murderous gastronome, it's a no-brainer that Anthony Hopkins made Hannibal a legend. Their actions define most great villains, but Hopkins' stillness is very unsettling. Staring at Jodie Foster's Starling through the glass, he not only peels away her layers with softly spoken words, but also the courage the audience mustered up to watch the movie in the first place. Lecter's horrific acts are more implied than shown, but his tongue proves as violent as a blade or bullet. Many people believe that characters like Hannibal make the movie more realistic. Let us hope people do not get inspired by these characters. Number 7, The Joker from Batman, 1966, Batman 1989, The Dark Knight 2008. Yeah, we know. We are as excited as you to talk about his character. All Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix fans assemble. The Joker is always a figure of fun, be that Mark Hamill's cartoon takes or Cesar Romero's TV incarnation of the comic character. Although Tim Burton and Jack Nicholson found some darker shades in the 1989 big screen reinvention of Joker, it is definitely not hard to argue that Christopher Nolan and Heath Ledger found the perfect form of character. Yes, we're talking about the epic 2008 movie, The Dark Knight. Heath Ledger's Joker is a thing of ugly beauty, a man who will do anything to achieve his aims, and to paraphrase the words of Michael Caine's Alfred, wants to watch the world burn. Is it a surprise that we find this character awfully attractive? Number 6, Voldemort from the Harry Potter series. Does the Harry Potter franchise's supervillain, Lord Voldemort, whose lust for power and immortality remind you of Marlowe's Dr. Faustus? Or better, Barbarous? These characters can be different from the outside, but ultimately, they all show lust for power. This ugly emotion made Voldemort commit horrific crimes, massacring wizards and humans alike. Fueled by an unearned sense of superiority, Voldemort loathes muggles, who is a wizardly slur for non-magic people and considered them filth, strove to rid the magical universe of half-bloods. Ralph Fiennes brought Voldemort to life, making him perhaps scarier than he was in the books. Born as Tom Riddle, Voldemort murdered his own family, and in his quest for immortality, went on to rip his soul into several pieces by murdering countless more people. Some say Voldemort's name was inspired by Edgar Allan Poe's character M. Valdemar, but it seems like it was J.K. Rowling's love of French that resulted in the moniker, meaning Flight of Death. In an interview, she said, "I needed a name that evokes both power and exoticism. Voldemort is an exotic, chilling mix of man and snake, slit-nosed and cold-blooded. He is powerful because of his command of dark magic, which is so complete that he can fly without a broomstick." Number 5. The Sheriff of Nottingham from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, 1991. Legend has it that Alan Rickman kept refusing the role of Sheriff of Nottingham until it was agreed he could do whatever he liked with it. Every sneer, every eye roll, every move is a surprising joy to behold because he does bad deeds with such gusto. Whether he's canceling Christmas or cutting your heart out with a spoon, Rickman's crowd-pleasing pantomime villainy is downright heroic. Is it wrong to give villains a hero image? Tell us, who can refrain from doing that when you have such brilliant artwork in front of you? If that's wrong, baby, I don't want to be right. Number 4. Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men, 2007. In No Country for Old Men, we see the hunter's life take a drastic turn when he discovers $2 million while strolling through, which was the aftermath of a drug deal. We cling to the seat as he is soon pursued by a psychopathic killer who wants the money. In 2018, during his Oscar acceptance speech for Best Supporting Actor, Javier Bardem thanks the Coen brothers, specifically for putting one of the most horrible haircuts in history on my head. No Country for Old Men would not be the last time Javier Bardem would blend bad parents and extreme villainy. Still, he's never topped the tired-eyed malevolence of Anton Chigurh, the cartel hitman who uses a bolt pistol to execute his victims as if they were cattle, and takes or spares lives at the whim of a coin toss. It's a truly marrow-chilling, human yet inhuman turn. Number 3. Hans Landa from Inglorious Bastards, 2009. Hans Landa is an ambitious and deeply sadistic SS Nazi officer who hid sadism underneath his charismatic facade in Tarantino's Inglorious Bastards. Christoph Waltz gave an unsettling performance as the cold-blooded Landa and won an Academy Award for that role. Hans Landa was widely known as the Jew Hunter because he was good at hunting down Jews. The character was not someone who necessarily believed in the Nazi ideology, but rather he only pursued whatever that satisfied his personal gains. He killed people as long as the orders were official because he liked it. He didn't care if the victim was a Jew or Nazi ally. The complete lack of humanity in this otherwise jovial Nazi made him even more terrifying and ruthless than usual. SS Colonel Hans Landa was entirely different from the stereotypical portrayal of Nazis. He was verbose, culturally high-minded, multilingual, and unrepentant in his love of strudel, however, a disarmingly charming psychopath. Number 2. John Doe from Seven, 1995. How can we leave David Fincher's masterpiece out? Kevin Spacey as John Doe in Seven played the serial killer. That heart-stopping portrayal of the calm but terrifying psychopath who murdered innocent people based on his own demented notion of cleansing the world of its sins is timeless, and it still gives us chills. Incredibly cunning, and was always one step ahead of the detectives, played by Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, and the sheer intelligence with which he set the whole thing up, almost like a puppet master, was what set John apart from other fictional serial killers. Number 1. Amon Goth from Schindler's List, 1993. And finally, we have Amon Goth from Schindler's List. Ralph Fiennes delivered a chilling performance as the cruel Amon Goth, who was the depraved SS officer running Schlassow concentration camp during World War II. Repulsive and amoral monster Amon Goth's morning rituals included executing Jews at random from his balcony. Goth was pure evil incarnate, with no redeeming features and qualities to speak of, and violated humanity's very fabric by merely existing. But perhaps the terrifying thing is that unlike any other cinematic representation of Nazis, Goth was a real person. Chandler's List ended by showing Goth being executed as a war criminal post-World War II, which also happened in real life. And with that, we've reached the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to drop this video a like. Also, subscribe to our channel Unlimited Movies and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on any of our latest videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.